Something is wrong with you. Your mother felt it the moment you were born. She flinched instead of holding you. The midwife walked out before you stopped screaming. Nobody has a word for what you are yet, but a god does. And he has been watching you since your first breath. Let's start. You are born on a Norwegian fjord in the 9th century into a world of salt and smoke and iron. Your father is across the sea raiding Francia, and one autumn he simply doesn't come back. He dies on a foreign beach with an axe in his hand, the way the men of your blood are supposed to. Your mother raises you alone, and she raises you carefully the way you would handle a blade you weren't sure was yours. Because there's something underneath you. A heat. Even as an infant, you don't cry like other children. You rage, screaming until your fists shake. The other mothers start keeping their children away from yours. By 5, you headbutt trees until your forehead bleeds and feel nothing. By 8, you understand your father is dead. And the grief comes out wrong. Sharpened, turned outward, hunting for something to hurt. You have never once cried. Even your sadness arrives as rage. The year you turn 10, a neighbor's son laughs at your wooden sword and you bury a real axe in his leg before anyone can stop you. He lives, barely. What frightens your mother most is not what you did. It is your face while you did it, calm, almost peaceful. After that, keeping the village safe from her own son becomes her entire life. And then there are the nights. You don't sleep. When you close your eyes, you see shadows with no faces, fields of the dead, and a single enormous eye watching you from the dark. The best sleep you can remember is 1 hour, and you are fairly sure that was an accident. Your mother drags you to the village seer, a blind old woman who reads the gods in bones and smoke. She holds your face, goes very still, and tells you to come back when you can finally see what haunts you. For 2 years you can, because you never remember the dreams. Until one morning you wake calm and you remember every single thing you saw. You run to her. She listens, her blind eyes widen, and she says 4 words that end the life you thought you would have. Odin has chosen you, the All-Father, god of war, of wisdom, of fury. The old word for the battle madness that turns a warrior into something else is Odr, the root of Odin's own name. He does not collect farmers, he collects weapons, and he has decided you will become one of his, a berserker. It is not a blessing. You will be stronger than any man should be, feel no pain, no fear. But the rage will never truly be yours. It will grow. One day it will stop asking your permission. Everyone you love will fear you, and your mother, you can never see her again, because the day the rage takes you completely, she is exactly who it will not spare. Your life is no longer yours. It belongs to Odin now. And the All-Father does not give his gifts back. By 12, you are bigger than grown men. And the village hands its feral child to the only men in the north who might survive him. The berserkers. They don't smile. They don't speak. They have eyes like frozen water, and they hit like falling timber. They throw you into the ring against 2 grown berserkers at once. You land blows, they shrug them off. You block, and your bones ring like struck iron. Some days they make you fight barehanded against a man swinging a real axe, and the only lesson is endure or bleed. For months you look like something stitched together out of scars. The boy who buried an axe in his neighbor's leg becomes something with discipline behind the violence. At 16, the spiritual training begins, because a berserker is not just a strong man. He is a door the god walks through. They teach you to summon the berserkergangr, the rage state the úlfheðnar, the wolfskin warriors fell into when they fought like beasts at the edge of the world. You enter it through chanting, through blood, and through pale mushrooms that turn the inside of your skull into lightning. Every time you take them, the great eye returns, and Odin speaks in a language older than words. But it is what happens after that frightens even you. The first time you go fully into the rage, you black out, and you wake miles deep in the forest holding a man's severed arm that is not your own. Trainers tell you without any concern that it belonged to a Viking who crossed your path mid-frenzy. This is going well, they say. This is exactly what Odin wants. By 18, you are in the king's own guard, and the king announces the thing every Viking lives for. A great raid across the sea. England. The first raids are nothing. Coastal villages, farmers with hunting spears, monasteries full of gold and men who have never held a weapon. You think of Lindisfarne, the holy island the Northmen sacked in 793. The raid that taught all of Christendom to fear sails on the horizon. You are part of that legacy now. You swing, they fall, you take their silver, and then it stops being easy. The King of York raises an army. This is no longer a raid, it is a war. Your Jarl sends you to the front and tells you to break the enemy line with a handful of your own kind. which is the fastest way to die ever invented. You are not afraid. You are eager. You chant. You cut yourself. You eat the mushrooms. The other Vikings back away because no one wants to be standing near a berserker when the god arrives. The rage comes. The world goes red. And then nothing. You black out. When you wake, it is silent. You're lying in the corner of the field soaked in blood that is mostly not your own, and all around you are bodies. You stand. You look at them. And something in your chest goes cold because they are not soldiers, they are boys, barely older than you were the day the village sent you away. Farm boys who picked up spears to defend their homes and met a god instead. For the first time in your life, you feel something that is not rage. You feel doubt. You look up at the gray English sky and ask the question you will never stop asking. Is this what Odin wanted? Two black ravens sit on the fence line watching. They do not answer. They never answer. But they are always there. You survive York. You go home. The Vikings whisper about how you flip between two men, the beast on the battlefield and the silent shadow at the throne. Anyone who saw you at York will not come within 6 feet of you, and against every expectation you live. You reach 30, which for a berserker is ancient, because most never see 25. Not because they lose fights, but because no one wants them around once the war ends. You earn the scars, the limp, the gray in your beard, the left arm that never worked right again after you tore a man off his horse with a single hand. You stop being the rookie at the front and become the one who leads the berserkers. Raid after raid, more gold, more screams in foreign tongues. And then the gift becomes the curse the seer promised. For years you chose when the rage came. Now it chooses. It takes you in battle, which is fine. Then it takes you at the dinner table, which is not. The other berserkers, men who fear nothing on this earth, begin to keep their distance from you. The childhood nightmares return, the faceless dead, the great eye. You take more mushrooms, and they make everything worse, and your mind comes apart at the seams. The king casts you out, not because you are weak, because you are too dangerous to keep alive near other people. So you exile yourself into the wilderness, so that the next time the rage takes you, no one is near enough to die for it. Every night, the same dream, killing people whose faces you cannot see, just bodies and blood with no end. Every night you beg the Allfather to take back what he gave you, to let you be, for one single night, the farmer you might have been. Odin says nothing, but the ravens still come. They sit at the edge of your fire, watching with black eyes, and at last you understand what they are. Huginn and Muninn, thought and memory. The two ravens that fly across the entire world and carry everything they see back to the Allfather. Odin has been watching you through those eyes your whole life. He simply chose not to speak. You are old now, and broken and alone, and there is only one thing left that you still want. Not peace. You gave up on peace decades ago. You want to die with a weapon in your hand, because that is the only death that opens the doors of Valhalla, and Valhalla is the only place the rage can never follow. A berserker who dies in his bed is lost forever. A berserker who falls in battle is carried up by the Valkyries to feast in Odin's hall until the end of the world. So you stop running, you walk down out of the mountains into the nearest town, gray and limping and enormous, and you stand in the square and look every man in the eye and tell them to come and kill you. Not one of them moves. Because even ruined, they remember. The nightmare of York, the man who tore an army apart and woke alone in the quiet. They will not give you the death you need because they are too afraid of the death you might give them first. So you go and find your own. There's always another war somewhere. You walk to the front of one final shield wall, an old man among young ones, and when the lines crash together, you let the rage take you completely for the last time. No ritual, no mushrooms, no permission asked. You give Odin everything you have left, and somewhere in the red, the fighting goes quiet. The pain stops. You look up. The ravens are not on the fence line this time. They are right beside you. And behind them, for the first time since the day you were born, the Allfather is not silent. He has come to take you home. You came into this world screaming, and your mother flinched. You leave it the same way, screaming, covered in blood, alone, but this time something is reaching down to pull you close. Tomorrow you wake up as something else. The gods are different. The price isn't.